Dear friends, as part of the series we're looking at the 7 keys of Metatron, empowering the heart self-heal and embrace total wellness of mind, body and spirit. In this short video we're going to look at nurturing the spiritual values associated with Metatron's keys. And again, here we focus on the word 7. There are 7 values associated with embracing these keys. 7 values that are about embracing a simpler way of life, in that divine connectedness. But first, before I share the 7 with you, I would really like to say this. As a former Catholic nursing monk, I didn't really fully comprehend or understand the meaning of nurturing values. A lot of what I learned was under force, under pressure, because you always had that mindset of fear where if you didn't achieve, you'd be sent home and you would be a disgrace to your family. That was in Catholic Ireland then. But of course things change. And as with all religious families, they mature, they learn from their mistakes. But I know many of my generation who gave their lives to God as young monks and nuns. Many of us were sacrificed on the altars of male ego. Many of us abandoned God. And in my work as a pastoral counsellor over many years, and as a nurse practitioner caring for the dying, I embraced a lot of beautiful souls who were in truth my greatest teacher. Always a humbling experience to learn from another who considered themselves not valued by their church, by God even, but yet they had a profound message. And the message always spoke to my heart. So moving away from all of that negative theology which alienated so many of us, I am really pleased to say that my reawakening happened 14 years ago when my dear friend died and a prescribed drug catapulted me into mental illness, where I lost everything. But I didn't lose everything. I actually gained the pearl of great price. When I look back on those 14 years, however hard they were in the beginning, to try and rebuild my life, I know that despite feeling that my God had abandoned me, my God never abandoned me. It was I who abandoned God. But today, living that simple life, as an independent, not controlled by any religious family, but yes, I am a Catholic Christian in my heart. But the difference is that I don't buy into the dogma and the fear and the control. I listen to the simplicity and the beauty of the Barefoot Galilean's teachings. I embrace them in love. And I see a totally different Jesus to the one I'd seen or was told about as a young Catholic monk. To me, Jesus is a very beautiful spiritual master who embraces all beliefs, and also influenced by Hildegard of Bingen and Francis of Assisi, as well as Sri Chimoy and the 3 great Teresas of Avila, Lisieux, Calcutta, Corrie ten Boom, even Martin Luther King, Gandhi, the Lord Buddha. They've all had a profound impact on my spiritual path. But the 7-fold values in nurturing our spiritual paths, having activated the keys of Metatron, have become promises I've made, guided by God in my heart, to make to God, so as to continue this loving relationship, despite my vulnerabilities, despite my weaknesses. And those 7 values are, the first is the vow of simplicity. Here we embrace a simple life. Like the little Therese of Lisieux, we do the ordinary things extraordinarily well. We keep everything simple. We embrace simplicity. The second would be purity of heart. And this applies to all of us, whether we're married, celibate, or whether we're in and out of relationships. There has to be a purity of heart. And of course, thirdly, the promise of obedience, that we will honor our heart. Because when we honor our heart and surrender our heart to God, we don't surrender control. What we do is we reawaken that connection to allow the conversation improve and for us to learn through that listening in silence and meditation. And of course, the 5th core value of the 7-fold promises would be, of course, the vow of non-violence, where we embrace our brothers and sisters of different beliefs and none. As a pacifist, Jesus was non-violent. Gandhi, Buddha, though they stood up for the righteousness and the integrity of all, they were never violent. They did not take human life for the sake of some dogma. They always spoke out for the marginalized. So we should always make sure that when we come to activating the keys and nurturing the keys of Metatron, that we come from a non-violent place. And the next core value is, of course, universal citizenship. As a child of God, regardless of my belief, whether I'm Christian, Buddhist, Muslim, Jew, it's irrelevant. I'm a universal citizen in the kingdom of God on earth. And then we have the vow of providence. What does this say? The promise of providence. Well, nurturing those spiritual values of Metatron, we have to come into a relationship with the Father, Mother, God, where we let go of our wants and we allow the heart embrace our needs. What is our needs today? What is my need today? Well, we present that need to God and we trust, because when we surrender our heart in love to God, not necessarily like me as a monastic or a monk, but the ordinary man and woman in the street, the ordinary believer, when you ask God into your heart, you surrender your heart to love and you trust that the Creator will meet your needs, not your wants. God doesn't do the wants, regardless of all the wonderful videos about manifesting your abundance. A lot of people today are caught up in this mindset of I want, I will have, I will take. That is not the spirit of providence. And then, of course, finally, compassion. As an independent lay monastic Franciscan, I embrace interfaith. I embrace all faiths. That is really what drives me to live the life I live, following the teachings of Buddha, Gandhi, Jesus, Sri Chinmoy and Francis, is that we have to have the mindset of compassion. God has compassion on their children. Why can't we have compassion on one another? So if we're devoid of compassion, then the 7 keys of Metatron are not fully activated, and nor can they be activated if we're lacking in compassion. So when you bring all together, what you're doing is you're creating a space of love, and you're looking at the language of love to empower the soul, embrace one's living, loving God. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Namaste.